A summer of uncertainty is ahead for the Forest Service with federal job cuts and tariffs on our neighboring countries. Business owners on the Olympic Peninsula are bracing for the impact.
King 5 Durandre is following what you need to know heading into the summer months if you're planning a trip out on the Olympic Peninsula. So what is this going to mean for the Olympic National Park?
All right, well, a lot has happened. Now, this winter, 1,000 seasonal national park workers were laid off. That's across the country, but it did include some at our national parks here in Washington, like Olympic. This spring, a judge ordered the Trump administration, though, to bring those workers back. However, we're told it has delayed the process of getting ready for the busy summer season.
The national park is really the crown jewel for the Olympic Peninsula.
Summer is trickling closer by the day at Olympic National Park. 3.7 million visitors pass through the gates every year.
Can I get a name for your booking?
Olympic Hiking Company guides tours and backpacking trips for about 4,000 of those visitors, largely in the prime months between June and August.
We're ready to welcome these guests.
But the National Parks Conservation Association questions whether the park will be.
Everyone needs to know what to expect, and no one knows anything right now. We may not see the impacts until gates are closed or campgrounds are closed, or maybe toilet paper runs out sometime, and the parks already start from an understaffed position.
Fewer park rangers means there's less maintenance. For example, you could see more bathrooms that are closed and more trash on the ground.
Regardless of how things shake out with, staffing levels in our public lands, it's really kind of on us as communities to be stewards of our backyard.
Ferris says do research on the trail you're hiking ahead of time, find out about parking, and be prepared to pack out waste and food.
The first thing is to say we are open. We're all open.
Olympic Peninsula Tourism Director Marcia Massey says businesses are plugging along as normal, but there's an even bigger concern than staffing the national park: the decline in visitors this year from Canada.
Many of the businesses have told me that their phones have stopped ringing and the reservations have stopped coming in from folks in Canada. So we're already seeing the impact of the pullback on travel.
Only about 20 nautical miles away, Marcia says Canadians fuel 15 to 20% of business on the Olympic Peninsula, regularly taking the Blackball ferry from Victoria into Port Angeles.
Some of our events that normally draw folks over from Canada are getting cancellations.
Welcome to any seats you like in there, move around.
Some businesses, including Olympic Hiking Company, are offering discounts for Canadian tourists to incentivize them to still visit.
We want to have a nice, friendly welcome for our Canadian neighbors across from Victoria, or just travelers that are passing through Victoria.
This uncertainty isn't new for the Olympic Peninsula. From pandemic closures to the 2023 fire that burned down the popular day lodge at Hurricane Ridge, it's just the latest challenge.
We found a way to pivot. So, that's what we do. We all bound together. That's what we do. We find a way to pivot.
And a bright spot, Upper Hoh Road, the only access point to the popular Hoh Rainforest, is opening back up this week. A storm washed it out this winter, and it's been closed since December. So that's definitely going to be a bright spot that people can get back out there.
Of course, the other national park that's really busy and popular is Mount Rainier. What do we know about that?
Okay, so last year, for the first time, they actually implemented a timed reservation system. And so a lot of people were wondering, are we going to see that again this year? Well, there's still been no announcement yet by the National Park Service, so we're still keeping a close eye on that. But we do know for that to be possible, you have to have adequate staffing.
You said like the little things, like the bathrooms may not be open, just things you may not think about until you get out there.
Yes, and we really won't know until this summer when people are starting to get out there. So we'll make sure we're keeping a close eye on it.